The pressure is mounting for Congress to pass voting rights reform. That pressure is coming from former Georgia, better yet, gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams. The Democratic activist and Fair Fight Action founder is urging voters, especially young people of color, to call their 2 U.S. senators every day throughout June. It's part of a campaign called Hot Call Summer. The goal is for voters to encourage lawmakers to help pass the For the People Act. The move comes as voting advocates like Vice President Kamala Harris continue to sound the alarm about conservatives' efforts to suppress voting rights.
The legislation is critically important. And we have been, as an administration, the president has been unambiguous that S1, the For the People Act, needs to be passed. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act needs to be passed. What we are seeing around the country are attempts to interfere with a fundamental right of the American people, which is a foundation of our democracy. And by the way, this is not even a bipartisan issue. From my perspective, it is nonpartisan. What they're trying to do, these efforts to suppress or make it more difficult for people to vote, will impact a wide variety of people, whoever they voted for in the last election. So there's a lot at stake on this issue that is about the legislation, but it is also about fundamental rights. And so we're not giving up.
Well, let's talk about those fundamental rights. We're going to drill both down so we can figure out exactly what bills are at stake right now in Congress. And to help us do just that, I'm joined by Raynard Jackson. He's the president and CEO of Raynard Jackson and Associates. He's also a government, public relations, and political consultant at his own firm. Thank you for being with us today on BNC Live, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, so the first question for you is, what's the difference between the two bills? We got the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and then on the other side, we also have For the People Act. Can you just tell our audience what's the difference between the two?
Well, to be honest with you, there's very little difference between the two in the sense that both of them tried to federalize the U.S. election, and elections in the U.S. are a function of the state, not the federal government. And when you read the bill, they have so much extraneous matter in the bill. For example, they want to automatically register 16-year-olds to vote, even though they're not eligible to vote till they're 18. They want in high school, once you hit 16, you're automatically registered to vote. That's foolishness. If you're not 18, you can't pre-register for something until you're eligible and you meet all the requirements. And then they want a national standard for election, and that's not the role of the federal government. That is the mandate of the state government to come up with their election laws and procedures. And so it's just a far overreach by the Democrats, and that's why they're having a difficult time getting any bipartisan support.
Well, it seems like they're having a difficult time getting bipartisan support on just about anything, especially when it comes to black and brown issues. We're having this conversation on the heels of the Moral March on Manchin, which was spearheaded by the Poor People's Campaign. That's where hundreds, I'm sure you're aware of this, marched to Senator Manchin's office in Charleston, West Virginia, Monday evening, basically in part to encourage him to get on board with passing the For the People's Act. Now, I guess my question to you is, he claims to have some support for the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, but says he doesn't want to pass any voting laws unless it's done bipartisanly. How is that possible when we're already seeing several states already passed stricter voting rights laws? Why would they even care to work together on the federal level when they're already doing it on the state?
Well, again, but that's the whole point, that the election is the purview of the state. So as opposed to marching on Senator Manchin's office, they should be marching on their governor's office and state legislatures' offices. But what I find amazing and rich in this, in the package you put up with Vice President Harris, it is amazing that she talks about voter ID being suppressing the black vote and it's being racist and white supremacist. Isn't it amazing? I've worked for 3 Republican presidents. Isn't it amazing? Every time I go to the White House, I have to show a government ID to meet with that president or vice president. And so, in order to get a meeting with Vice President Harris, you must show a federal, a state issued ID or federal government ID. And if you don't have that, you cannot get in for that meeting. Is that racist? Is that white supremacist? Is that discrimination? So I would love to see someone in the media ask the vice president, is that discriminatory?
Well, Mr. Jackson, I want to ask you, is it? Do you find that requiring a voter to have a voter ID, let's say, I know there's some situations where some folks may not have a driver's license. Do you find that to be racist?
That's not true. Well, let me tell you something. The answer to your question is no, I do not. And let me give you an example. I do a weekly syndicated column in several hundred newspapers. I've been doing it for decades. Isn't it amazing when Eric Holder was Attorney General, he was speaking at the NAACP's National Conference in Houston that year. And on the NAACP's website, on the ticket, on the confirmation for you to get in to hear Attorney General Eric Holder, you must present a government-issued ID to go into the convention center to hear Eric Holder speak. Now, how is it that the NAACP did not find that racist, discriminatory, white supremacist? The liberals are so full of crap, and I hope you guys in the media will start challenging them that when they require their friends to show an ID to get into a function, it's okay. But when a Republican does it, it's racist. How do you reconcile the two?
Well, Mr. Jackson, that's why we have you on here. That's why we have you on BNC, so we can talk about these issues. And you're right, that's why we're calling Truth to Power and having this conversation. But I want to continue this conversation with you, and we're also going to bring another guest on as well. So if you can just stay tight. And we'll
There are many things that are open to debate in America, but the right of all eligible citizens to vote is not one of them.
All right, we just heard that sound from Attorney General Merrick Garland right there talking about voting rights. And I want to thank you both for staying with us, especially you, Raynard Jackson. We know Wanda Mosley, you just joined us. Thank you for joining us here on BNC Live. You are the National Field Director for Black Lives Matter Fund. So prior to going to commercial break, Mr. Jackson was discussing voter IDs. And Mr. Jackson, you had a strong opinion. You said they're not racist. So, Ms. Mosley, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts?
So, yes, thank you for having me. And I'm with Black Voters Matter Fund. Yeah, look, we do know that there are instances where folks have had difficulty securing their photo ID, but I also know that there are provisions in place that seek other ways to verify a person's identity and verify their residency, and therefore make them eligible to register to become voters in their state and in their county. And so we do know that there have been studies, there have been research, I don't know that I could cite one at this moment, that say that these things disproportionately affect people of color. We know that during times, not that long ago, there were a lot of home births in rural spaces, in particular with indigenous folks and Black folks. And so there are all kinds of different situations as to why a person may not have a photo ID. But like I said, there are provisions in place that secure the identity, that verify the identity of those folks. And that's all a part of the process of even becoming a registered voter. So before a person can even be added to the voter rolls, there had to be a verification step that took place.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, you're smiling as if you have a response. I'm waiting for it. Give it to us.
Wanda, I don't know you, but I can guarantee I will pay you $1,000 in cash right now if you can identify to me one person you know personally that doesn't have any type of government ID. That's just a bunch of crock. And the liberals make up these poll data, poll numbers. Listen, there is no one in this country that's old enough to have not gotten a birth certificate when they were born. And those folks have pretty much died off. And if you can identify anyone, I tell you what, I will personally pay for them to get their government issued ID. You name them for me, and I will take them to get it myself because it doesn't exist. That's a red herring. Black folks, even Pookie and LaQuisha from the hood. I represent a lot of entertainers. You know, when people from the hood call me, friends of mine, and ask me to leave them some tickets at the will call for a concert at a major arena, you know what? They have to show a government ID. And I've never had, in the 30 years I've been in entertainment, anyone call me and say, hey, I don't have an ID. I can't pick up the tickets for will call at the venue. So that's a red herring. Red herring.
Well, Mr. Jackson, I personally don't know anyone, but I do have colleagues who claim to have family members who don't have IDs, and this could be problematic for them. But let's move on from...
Put them in touch with me, and I will personally make sure that person gets an ID.
Plan to.
I would do it personally.
And specifically, I believe our chief legal correspondent, Dr. Laura McNeil, speaks of having relatives who don't have an ID. So I will be sure to personally connect you with her, and then hopefully we can send some cameras with you too while you fit the bill.
That I will do that gladly, because I so believe in the message on the Republican side that I want more people to vote, not less, because I think if we get our message out to the Black community, Black folks have enough common sense to vote in their own best interest. That's how confident I am of the message.
But are these new restrictive laws that we're seeing popping up across the country, is that what that's doing? And I'll go to you, Ms. Mosley. Is that encouraging Black folks to get out and vote, or is that keeping us away from the polls?
I don't think these restrictive laws are encouraging anyone to go out and vote. Black folks, brown folks, anybody, because they are punitive in some ways. They are very egregious. They stoke fear in some places. We're finding ourselves in a place and time where states are wanting to criminalize offering someone water or snacks.
That's not true. That is not true. I work with the governor of Georgia on that bill. That is not in the language.
Okay, well, we have to be respectful. So let's Ms. Mosley, please continue your thought. Mr. Jackson, we'll go right to you thereafter.
So as I was saying, we're at a point in time where it is a criminal offense for someone to offer snacks or water while someone is waiting in line. I mean, look, we're also in the midst of climate change. So we are seeing ourselves in some states, especially in the South, even in October during early voting, where we have extremely high temperatures. I have witnessed myself people near faint waiting in to go out and vote. And let us not forget, these long lines are also part of a system that needs to be fixed. We have inadequate training for poll workers. We have machines that don't work or function the way that they're supposed to. We have situations where people the managers show up at the polling precincts. They don't have all of the equipment that they need. They may be missing a power cord or a specific key card, which was the case here in Georgia. So again, this contributes to these long lines that people have to wait in. And just not being able to offer someone comfort while they're in line is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And Mr. Jackson, what's your response to Ms. Mosley?
I don't even know where to start. I'm offended as a Black that another Black would get on national TV and tell me these same Black folks who will sleep overnight to get a pair of Air Jordans from Foot Locker. You tell me these same Blacks, it's a problem with them standing in line to register, to actually cast their ballot. That's offensive as heck, number one. Number two, if you read the Georgia bill, which I worked on with Governor Brian Kemp, the bill says if you're within 150 feet of the voting location, only election officials are allowed to pass out water and food. Beyond 150 feet, anybody could walk up to a total stranger, give them water, food, pizza, donuts, whatever. So, Wanda, in all due respect, you have not obviously read the law, and you're giving me Democratic talking points from Stacey Abrams. That is not what's in the law.
So I'm not actually here to cast aspersions, to debate or argue with you, sir. I'm here to give my opinion. I have read the legislation.
Your opinion is not based on facts.
Don't cut me off. That is just rude. I'm sure your mother taught you better than that.
I don't have a mother.
And this is going to be the final word, guys.
I'm aware of the distance requirements, but I also know, having visited multiple polling precincts throughout the state of Georgia, that oftentimes those measurements are ambiguous because sometimes it's from the door, sometimes there's a door at the front of the building, then there's another room inside the building,
Oh,
depending
so
on what the
black folks
polling
are
precinct.
stupid. They can't read and
Please
interpret
stop
the law,
cutting
right?
sir.
And Mr.
Please stop
Jackson,
cutting off.
Mr. Jackson, we're going to let Miss
Wow.
Mosley wrap because
You are
we actually have
rude.
about 30 seconds, and I want to get both of your last second comments in respectfully. So, Ms. Jackson, if you could briefly wrap with your comment, and Mr. Mosley, we'll have you do the same. Miss Mosley, were you finished?
No, you said Jackson and then Mosley. I was
Oh, I'm
waiting for him to
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry. Miss Mosley, you were already in the middle. I apologize. Just getting heated in here. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Miss Mosley, if you can give us your brief final wrap, please.
Again, I'm not here to argue with this gentleman. I don't know him. He's definitely entitled to his opinions, even if they are misguided, in my opinion. But what I do know is that in the state of Georgia, people are waiting in these lines for 8 and 9 hours. They are waiting to exercise their most fundamental right as Americans and to vote. So for him to try to, make these accusations and say all these bad things about Black folks is ridiculous. Perhaps this is some self-hate or something going on. I don't know, because I'm not here to talk about that. What I do know is that all across this country in over 40 states, these laws have been written, many signed, and it is all predicated on a big lie, which is all a result of what happened in the last election cycle, where Black and brown folks came out, showed their force, showed their power, and got some wins. And so now the conservative party knows that the only way for them to win is to pass these laws that erect barriers, Black and brown folks from getting to the polls. That's what I do know.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for having me.
Thank you. And Mr. Jackson, you get the same amount of time, sir. So make it count.
All right, Black America, I want you to see how Black liberals, how ignorant they think you are. They think you don't know the rules of engagement in order to vote. These same Black folks, she's saying, standing in line to cast that ballot, these same folks would wait 3 or 4 days in line to get Beyonce tickets, to get Air Jordan. And so all of a sudden now she has nothing to say to criticize Nike, who produces Air Jordan. And so Black folks, liberals always think Black folks have to be spoon-fed everything. Black folks are very intelligent. They know how to vote. They know how to get an ID. And so you liberals need to stop talking down to Black folks, because Black folks are very intelligent.
All right, and there we have it. That concludes our debate here on BNC Live. That was a good one. I want to thank you, Mr. Raynard Jackson, Wanda Mosley. It was a pleasure having you both, and we look forward to continuing this conversation on voting in America.